Welcome back everyone to Piney Plays Beorning, and I have found Weeg Fugal, and let's ask him if he knows anything about what happened to the apothecary.
I do not believe you will find welcome here.
You suspect me of these rumored crimes? How shameful! Know that I am a respectful elder of this community. I was visiting Malbjord for treatment to the terrible nightmares I began having shortly after my son and his family lost their lives. His croft was raided and burned by the first orc assaults, and still Oswald has refused to defend those helpless families outside the city walls. It is true I harbor no love for the Reeve after such a heartless decision, yet I would not resort to poisoning him. Consider for a moment how a citizen such as myself would have access to the Reeves' kitchen. Surely someone would have noticed in my unexpected presence there? Alright, so he reminds us that he would not be able to get to the kitchen. Well, let us see. Well, let us speak with Eldora and find out what she has to say. Hello there.
Will you aid the horse lords?
I know that you are investigating the poison found in the kitchen and the murder of Malbjorn. Yes, I have heard the rumors. I must explain my actions so that you understand why I am innocent of these matters. I have been taking care of the injured man you see before me, Freastan. He was wounded in battle and is greatly impaired. I care greatly for Fresland, and though he knows it not, and I have been overseeing his aid through medicinal herbs that Malbert has provided for us. I have been here frequently tending to him, thus my absence from the kitchens. It is true that no one can account for my whereabouts where these crimes were committed, but I know that I have no more reason to harm Arthur than anyone else in town. Furthermore, Malbert was helping me to treat Freastan, and I would never have wished him to come to harm. Well, there is some logic to that. So, she had no reason to harm either victim. Her only potential thing is that she worked in the kitchens, which of course is certainly not a crime in itself. Now, that is what we get from our questioning of those two. But now we need to go up and find Swithor. Alright, now we found Swithor, which is a lot easier to find when he has a quest ring over his head.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Captain Theodmar told me of the circumstances involving Malbert and my dagger. I understand your reason to suspect me, but I can assure you that I had nothing to do with his murder. My weapon was likely taken from me in order to draw suspicion towards me and away from the real killer. On the night that Malbert's life was taken, I was patrolling the city perimeter with other guards. Had I left to visit his home, my absence would have been very strongly noticed. I have been grieving the loss of my brother, yet, as I have explained to Theodmar, I do not blame the Ree for his death. I respect Oswald greatly, and I understand his decision must have been a difficult one. I am an honorable man, and these despicable crimes are below me. Alright, so he has plenty of witnesses. So that's what we have here. 3 suspects. One of them who has plenty of witnesses to show that he was not at the scene of the crime. He was on patrol, so assuming we got the time of death right, then he won't be able to do it. Then we have one person who is unlikely to have any reason to do it, since she had legitimate reasons for visiting the apothecary. And then we have another man who says, what was his reason? Oh yes, right. He would have been noticed if he tried entering the kitchens. Well then, I've spoken with all of them.
Will you aid the horse lords?
Each suspect has given a different reason why he or she cannot be the one who did it. Swiftthorn claims to have witnesses that when Malbeard was slain. Eldora seems to have a lacking of motive to harm either victim, and Wilfugol has like us to consider his lack of access to the restricted kitchens. The time draws near. Consider each testimony and all the evidence discovered. Action must be taken before others come to harm. We must apprehend the guilty party. You never heard of due process of law, warrants, and all that? Oh, no, you have never heard of that stuff. All right. So, therefore, which one should we apprehend? Eldora, Swiththorn, or Wigfugo? Well there, as for Eldora, I remember there was one time where the quest had bugged out and the person she was tending was was not seen because of some sort of bug in the thing. That's the only time I ever accused her of it, was because, she obviously did. But in this case, the person she was tending was there, and it seems like a legitimate reason enough there. Swiftthorn, he had too many witnesses there, so despite Wigfugol's thing about not having access to the kitchens, by process of elimination, I guess that's it. Of course, I know what the other possibility is, that none of them did it. Well, unfortunately, that's not a choice that we're given here.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Oh, so you believe Wigfugol to be the culprit? Yes. It cannot understand that his grudge against Othward gives him the strongest motive. Living alone at his estate, he has no witnesses for his whereabouts during the crimes. It takes little imagination to see how Wigful was the one responsible for this atrocity. I trust your decision in this matter. I shall go now and apprehend Wiggle because a complete outsider took a random guess with a dartboard and said, alright, I guess this one. Meet me inside the dungeon. This is like completely ridiculous. So you say, well, if this is completely ridiculous, why am I doing this particular quest? Well, it ties in with something that comes in later, of course. And, well, that's all I'm going to say about that. And I do have to figure out what I am going to do in relation to the latter stages of Rohan. But that's another matter to worry about. Alright. First, let us head into the dungeons. Alright, and here's the jail. Alright, here we are.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Wigfugo protested when I came to him, but eventually he relented and came along willingly. We will hold him here as we gather more evidence to prevent him from causing further harm. Thinking on it now, I believe this was the best decision. Wigful's disdain for the Reeve led him to the schemes of deception and murder. Othwar's life will be safer with Wigful locked away.
Will you aid the Rohirrim?
Yes, you have been a tremendous help, both to me and the people of Cliving. We all owe you a debt of gratitude for your fine service. Yes, Reeve Othward has sent word that he would personally like to thank you for your assistance on this matter. Go with haste. The Reeve's time is precious, and it is rare for him to pay heed to visitors of your stature. Boy, thanks a good deal. Thanks a good deal. Alright. Okay, and let us now go to oh yeah. Okay, hi Horn, Nona, and Kurgan. I'll speak with you in a moment. When yeah, when those quest rings turn into a nice yellow color. First, though, let us speak with a claving here. Oh, you've made it inside! How nice of you! Oh, that was quick. I didn't even notice you following me.
Thank you for your help.
Pine claw, you say? Well, you must be the wise Beorning I have heard so much about. I simply must thank you. I could not be more pleased with the result of the investigation. To think that a coward will threaten my life with poisons rather than face me with their grievances in person. It sickens me. We must put those matters behind us, for further turmoil yet lies ahead for me and my people. Receive this reward, and please consider helping us further. Alright, and what have we got here? We've got some armor I can't use, Hmm, let's say... nice ring. Okay, I guess I'll take the ring.
I am inspired by your companion's example.
I have been speaking with your companions while you aided in my captain of the guard. I am inspired by their example. A man of Rohan, a girl of Dunland, and even an elf. How is it that folk of such different backgrounds can work together? It pains me to see you leave. Can you not stay and help me with the maintenance of Cliving? I would use each of your talents to better the state of the people. Discuss among yourselves if you must, but do not decide to leave so quickly. A strong Cliving makes for a strong Rohan, and these are troublesome times. Yes, I guess so. Well, what do you think, Corden?
This city has little to fear of orcs, if you ask the opinion of an elf.
Yes, I have seen more secure homes, but they were in the Malorns of Lorien. This city has little to fear from orcs, if you ask the opinion of this elf. Othwar should see that he can do to protect the people that live elsewhere in the Norcross, but he can do that without our presence. What do you think, Horn?
We need not stay here any longer. Cliving has strong walls.
Yes, it has strong walls, and its position is better than the other towns we have seen. Othward has little cause to fear orcs from this fastness. He does not need our help any longer, and we should be off. Alright. And... Nona?
I think it is time to go.
Yes, the Uruks we followed did not come this close to Cliving, either because it was not on their road, or they were afraid of the town's defenders. Well, it appears that everybody here thinks things are all nice and well.
You cannot blame me for wanting to keep skillful folk at the disposal of my people.
Yes, I understand that you need to be off. You cannot blame me for wanting to keep skillful folks at my disposal. If you have business back at Ethengel's, can I ask you to deliver a message? Yes. Alright, good, good. This may surprise you, Pineclaw, but I have no male heir to carry on my line. I love my daughters more than my own life, but a son would release me from the worry that my line will end with me. My wife has been dead for the past year, and it is time that I begin thinking of the future. Now, Thane Mildred of Elthangles has had more than her share of grief in these past few months. If it is in my power to heal the sorrow I have caused her, I would do so. I desire her hand in marriage. I will respect her decision in time, but please express to her how strong a union would be between our families and our cities would be. The Norcross would only benefit from such a union. It is not the first time that I've asked her for her hand, but it will be the last, no matter what her decision. Alright. I will deliver your message. Your ladyship, I have spoken with the Reeve and I have spoken with your daughter, and he has a message for you.
You cannot be serious! That scoundrel! That braggart!
His inactions doomed my husband Pendrad to death by the orcs, and he personally gave my son the wound that killed him. He has the gall to ask for my hand, not once, but twice, and to use friends to do it? Why, that... I sent you to learn of my daughter Seyflad from being treated well by the murderer of her father and brother. Is she? Oh boy, she's really in a nice mood today.
Thank you for easing the worry in a mother's heart.
If Seyflad says that she is being treated well, I will keep my complaints to myself. Thank you for easing my worry in a mother's heart. My daughter is strong-willed, and I trust she will have the sense to send word if her situation changes to ill. Turning now to the well-being of my people, I find clarity. We must not rely on the Reeve to protect us. I do not trust him, but more so, I feel in my heart he will see first to the defense of Cliving, and not leave his walls to protect the rest of us. The other towns of the Norcrofts do not have Cliving's natural defenses. You have been a good help to me, but I know that you are eager to progress westward in pursuit of the Uruks you seek. Go southwest to Faldham by way of the river crossing to scout and see if the crossing is held by foes. Also, I ask that you collect emblems of any orcs that you find in the Norcrofts. Show these emblems to Elfhelm, the Thane of Faldham, as proof that we must stand on our own and not rely on Ashathart. Oh, wait, that's right. Elfhelm has gone to the fords of Isen. His son Elfmar must have rule of Faldham in his absence. Show him the emblems instead. Alright, and this is a level 79, so we are now back on track for that. So next time we are going to collect some orc emblems from orcs in the Norcrofts, and we are going to cross the river. I know, what a daunting task. And we'll do that in our next episode of Piney Plays The Beorning.